It started with a single photograph. A flicker of light, a tilted camera angle, and the world froze in confusion and excitement. Fans screamed, hashtags exploded, and timelines went ablaze. But the truth? The truth was buried somewhere between what almost happened and what never did. This is the story of the kiss that never happened between Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. A story so breathtaking, so emotionally electric, that it left fans questioning reality itself. The day was like any other for the film crew. The set buzzed with energy, makeup artists rushing, directors barking orders, and assistants carrying steaming cups of coffee. The tension was thick with expectation. After all, it was the most anticipated scene of the entire production. Xiao Zhan stood by the window, his face softly lit by the golden hues of evening. His costume was perfectly pressed, his eyes lost in deep thought. Across from him, Wang Yibo leaned against the wall, silent but charged with presence. Every glance, every breath between them carried a weight too heavy for words. Everyone on set knew something special was about to happen. The script called for a near confession, a moment of raw emotion, a revelation that would leave the audience gasping. But rumor had it, the director wanted something unscripted, something real, something unforgettable. "Let's try something different," the director had murmured, watching both actors with an almost mischievous glint in his eyes. "Let's see what happens when truth takes over." The camera rolled. Xiao Zhan turned slowly, his gaze locking with Wang Yibo's. The air thickened, the world seemed to pause. Every beat of their hearts echoed louder than the dialogue. "You don't understand," Xiao Zhan whispered, his voice trembling with emotion. "I do," Yibo shut back, his tone low, raw, almost breaking. A silence followed, the kind that screamed louder than words, the kind that made even the crew hold their breath. Then, Wang Yibo stepped closer. The distance between them vanished like mist in sunlight. Their eyes met, searching, daring, trembling. And then, it happened. Or rather, it almost did. A pause, a heartbeat, a breath away. The moment hung suspended in time, too fragile to touch, too powerful to ignore. The world didn't need the kiss to see what was real between them. The emotion was already there, pulsing through every frame, every glance, every flicker of hesitation. The director didn't call cut. He didn't need to. The scene was perfect, raw, unscripted, alive. But that wasn't the end. The photo leaked 2 days later. A blurry still from the camera feed, showing Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan standing dangerously close, eyes locked, tension visible even through the grain. No kiss, but the suggestion of one. That was all it took. YiboZhan exploded across social media. Fans analyzed every pixel, every shadow, every reflection in the window. Some swore they saw movement, a fraction of a second that was cut out. Others believed it was simply a trick of the light. Theories multiplied like wildfire. One side claimed the kiss was real, captured, censored, and hidden. Another insisted it was all performance art, a masterclass in emotional acting. And then there were those who didn't care about the truth, because to them, that almost kiss was more powerful than any actual one could have been. And deep down, maybe they were right. Behind the scenes, whispers floated around. A crew member allegedly saw the two stars staying late on set, long after filming ended. The lights were dimmed, the cameras off, the world asleep. What they discussed, no one knew. But one assistant swore she heard laughter, soft and genuine. Another claimed she caught a glimpse of Xiao Zhan smiling, that kind of smile that reaches the eyes. Wang Yibo, usually quiet and reserved, seemed changed the next day. His performance burned brighter, his movements sharper, his emotion deeper. Something had shifted. It wasn't about a kiss anymore. It was about connection. Weeks passed, and the mystery only deepened. In interviews, both stars were asked about this scene. Xiao Zhan smiled gently, his tone playful but distant. "Sometimes, the most powerful moments are the ones that don't happen," he said. Wang Yibo, on the other hand, gave his signature half-smirk. "Did it not happen?" he asked, eyebrow raised. "Maybe you just didn't see it." That was it. One cryptic smile, one teasing comment, and the fandom went into overdrive. What did he mean? Was there a deleted clip? Was it a real kiss that got lost in editing? Or was it something that existed only in the space between imagination and truth? But perhaps the real magic wasn't in the act itself, but in the tension that surrounded it. The kiss that never happened became a symbol of restraint, of mystery, of emotion so overwhelming it didn't need to be shown. It represented all the things left unsaid between two souls who shared the screen but seemed to share something more beneath it all. Even directors and film critics began discussing it. One described it as cinematic electricity, the rare kind that makes you forget you're watching fiction. Another called it the modern version of the classic near kiss, where the absence of touch says more than touch ever could. The scene became iconic. A single frame became legend. But here's where the story takes a breathtaking turn. Months later, at an awards show, fate seemed to play its hand again. Xiao Zhan walked the red carpet first, dressed in black velvet and quiet confidence. Minutes later, Wang Yibo arrived, elegant, mysterious, and effortlessly magnetic. When they met on stage to present an award together, the energy in the room shifted instantly. Cameras flashed. Fans screamed. The air seemed to hum with the memory of that one almost kiss. They exchanged glances, short, meaningful, and impossible to misread. As Xiao Zhan handed the envelope to Wang Yibo, their hands brushed. For a split second, time froze again. The audience gasped, remembering that scene, that moment. The kiss that never happened suddenly felt like it was about to live before millions. But just as before, it didn't. And somehow, that made it even more magical. Later that night, a behind-the-scenes video surfaced. It showed Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan laughing after the ceremony, whispering something to each other before disappearing backstage. No tension, no awkwardness, just quiet familiarity. Fans flooded the comments. Maybe they're telling us the story isn't over. The kiss that never happened still might. Some moments are too sacred for cameras. And maybe they were right. Because sometimes the most unforgettable stories are the ones left unfinished. The ones that let our imaginations do the rest. The legend of the kiss that never happened continues to echo across fan forums, documentaries, and countless video edits. It's not about proof anymore. It's about belief. Belief in chemistry that can't be faked. Belief in the art of restraint. Belief that what almost happened sometimes matters more than what did. In an age obsessed with seeing everything, maybe the most beautiful thing is what remains unseen. And between Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, that single unspoken moment became eternal. The kiss didn't need to happen, because it already did. In the hearts of everyone who watched, held their breath, and felt something real. The night after that unforgettable scene, the city lights shimmered like scattered diamonds on wet asphalt. The set was quiet, almost hauntingly so, as if it had witnessed something too powerful to speak about. Xiao Zhan lingered behind after everyone left, his reflection staring back at him from the darkened glass window. The echoes of that almost kiss still hung in the air, invisible but electric. Every breath he took felt heavy, loaded with the memory of how close they had been. A heartbeat away, a second from changing everything. He wasn't supposed to feel this way. It was just acting, just another day on set. But something inside him had shifted. Behind him, a door creaked open. Wang Yibo stepped in, quiet as ever, his presence unmistakable. He didn't say a word, just walked up beside Xiao Zhan and stood there, both of them staring out into the night like it held answers they couldn't speak. The silence was louder than any confession. Finally, Yibo broke it. "You didn't pull away," he said softly. Xiao Zhan turned his head slightly, his lips curving into a faint smile. "You didn't either." A beat. Two. And then, Yibo chuckled, a sound rare and unguarded. The director thought we'd improvise a hug. "You went off script." "So did you," Xiao Zhan shot back, his tone teasing but his eyes unreadable. For a moment, their laughter filled the room, nervous, light, and fragile. But beneath that laughter was something neither of them could name. Something that had begun the moment their eyes met under the spotlight. when the world held its breath waiting for a kiss that never came. The next morning, chaos hit the internet like wildfire. That single still frame had spread everywhere. Fan edits, zoom ins, slow-motion breakdowns. Theories so wild they blurred the line between fantasy and obsession. Wang Yibo scrolled through his phone, half amused, half startled. "They really think we kissed," he murmured, showing Xiao Zhan a clip that had already reached millions of views. Xiao Zhan leaned in, eyes twinkling. "Well, maybe we did." Yibo froze, just for a moment. "Did we?" The way Xiao Zhan looked at him, calm, mysterious, said everything and nothing. Maybe it doesn't matter. And maybe it really didn't. Because the power of that scene wasn't in the act. It was in the emotion that built up to it. The silent storm that never found release. It was almost love, trapped forever in a single frame. Weeks later, during a night shoot, the director decided to revisit the same emotional energy. "We're recreating that connection," he said, "but this time, I want restraint. I want pain. I want the audience to ache." Both men understood instantly. As the cameras rolled again, Xiao Zhan's voice cracked under the weight of the moment. Wang Yibo's eyes glistened with emotion that wasn't in the script. And when the cue came, that split second when they were supposed to step apart, neither moved. Every person on set held their breath. Their faces were inches apart again. That same familiar tension sparking in the air, the same gravity pulling them together. But just before anything happened, the director whispered, "Cut." No one exhaled. Even the sound engineer forgot to hit pause. It was as if everyone was waiting for something that refused to happen, something that couldn't be controlled. The director smiled knowingly. "You don't need to show the kiss," he said quietly. "You already told the story." And he was right. Behind the camera, when the lights dimmed and the crew began packing up, Yibo turned to Xiao Zhan again. "You ever wonder what would have happened if we didn't stop?" Xiao Zhan hesitated, his expression unreadable under the soft glow of the set lights. "Maybe the world would have exploded." Or, Yibo said, smirking, "maybe it would have just started spinning differently." There it was again, that teasing, delicate balance between friendship, performance, and something more profound neither could define. But as their show wrapped and they went their separate ways for new projects, the ghost of that moment followed them. At fan meets, fans shouted, "Did it happen?" In interviews, journalists asked slyly, "Was the chemistry real?" And every time, their answers were the same. A soft laugh, a cryptic smile, and a look that said more than any confirmation could. The kiss that never happened had become more famous than kisses that actually did. It wasn't just a scene anymore. It was a legend. Months later, at an international awards ceremony, the universe decided to play its game once more. Both stars were seated across from each other, cameras flashing, fans screaming their names. When the Category 4 Best On-Screen Duo was announced, the winner was obvious. Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan walked to the stage together, applause echoing through the hall. They smiled, exchanged glances, and when Xiao Zhan reached out to shake Yibo's hand, the world once again stopped breathing. That same electricity, that same unsaid emotion, came alive all over again. And as they turned to address the audience, Xiao Zhan leaned slightly closer and whispered, almost inaudibly, "The kiss that never happened still lives in their hearts." Yibo's lips curved into that familiar, knowing smirk. "Then maybe we did our job right." The crowd roared. It was as if the world had witnessed a continuation of the scene that never ended, a living echo of that cinematic magic that refused to fade. That night, social media exploded again. Clips from the award show trended globally. The moment they exchanged that whisper became the new heartbeat of their fandom. Someone posted, "We never saw the kiss, but we all felt it. And that's more powerful." Another wrote, "Their eyes say what their lips never did." And perhaps that's what makes the kiss that never happened so unforgettable. It lives beyond film, beyond rumor, beyond truth itself. It's not about what was or wasn't seen. It's about what was felt. Because the strongest moments in life are often the ones that never happen, yet never leave. The director once said in an interview, "You can't script connection. You can only capture it when it appears." And sometimes, when it refuses to happen, it becomes eternal. Today, that near kiss remains one of the most analyzed, romantic, and haunting moments in modern entertainment. Fans still replay it, frame by frame, trying to capture what words cannot describe. Maybe it's not about whether the kiss happened. Maybe it's about what it created, a mystery, a story, a spark that continues to burn silently between two stars who turned a single unscripted pause into an immortal legend. The kiss that never happened, and yet, somehow, it did. Sparkles, if you felt the magic in this continuation, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more breathtaking stories that will keep your heart racing and your imagination alive.